Welcome to Kids Baking Club decorating our hearts for today. First, you need to bake your cookies according to directions and make your royal icing following the icing directions. With all of the cookies, you're first going to outline your cookies. Remember just to cut a very small hole at the end of your piping tip so that you can make this nice line. Once you have your line, you're going to fill it in as if you were coloring. Just go ahead, you can do it any method you want to fill it in, but you want the entire cookie completely filled in. Most of the designs we're going to do today, it's called wet on wet, meaning that once you have the bottom layer of the white wet, you're going to do the second layer while this icing is wet as well. First one we're going to do is X's and O's, also known as hugs and kisses. And using your pink icing now, cutting a very small hole, you're going to just make some X's and O's all through the cookie. How cute is that? You can put them anywhere you want, large or small, and now you're just going to let that dry. The next one we're going to do is you're going to just take pink little dots all around the edges. And believe it or not, these are going to make small, tiny hearts. Using a toothpick, you're going to just very slightly go from the top through to make a heart. Make sure you put the toothpick right in the middle of the circle. You can see here just ever so slightly, and when it dries, because it's wet on wet, it actually makes these small little hearts. You can make writing in there if you want to. The next one makes a really beautiful design. Again, you're doing it on the wet white icing. You're going to make what looks like a spider's web. But once you have all of these lines, again, you're going to take a toothpick and starting in the middle, you're going to swirl around as if it looks kind of like a peppermint candy where it just swirls around, and it's going to dry with this beautiful design. People will be amazed how you did that. This one, we're just putting the dots around like we did before. If you want, you can do the hearts like we just learned, or you can just leave them as dots. And then once this dries, you do need to let this dry. You're going to write whatever you want. I wrote the first one, I wrote hugs, just using your pink icing, writing the best that you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can write someone's name, you can write hugs, you can write love, you can write kisses. The next one I did was love, and I made the L very long and just made a kind of a nice design with the word love. And then just let these dry before you put them in the bags with your tags. This one's a little different. You're going to first outline half the cookie with the icing. Fill it in like we did before. And once again, you're going to keep this icing wet. You need to keep it wet for the next part. The next part is you're going to take some granulated sugar and add a little bit of your pink food color to make pink sugar. And once you have that, sprinkle it all over the top of your wet icing. And I even used the back of my spoon to press in, make sure it was all in there. And then because I have it on a plate, I'm going to let it drop off a little bit, not so there's not so much sugar. And now you have a beautiful design here. Fill the rest of it with pink icing or white icing. I'm using white here. And once again, you're just going to color it in, and you're going to let all of this dry. Once it's dried, then you can do another design on top. I did a little swirl here, and then I cleaned up the lines here where the sugar was with some pink icing. And there you have it.